When the winds of change breeze over your life, do you follow that newborn curiosity? Can you accept the invitation to follow the Spirit's wind to wherever it might travel? A hidden land or a mystical part of yourself that yearns to be discovered? Where will the wind strike anchor? Can you soften into the guidance you receive, becoming like a feather, blowing and bending with the changing directions? To listen to that undeniable unfolding of nature's life ingrained in your existence. There is a constant flux of nature's cycles changing the dynamics in our lives and in this world. But we can see there's always a red path that runs through our life that has already brought you to this moment. Your story is unfolding in its own unique way, as part of an ever-occurring movement of change that allows this evolution of all that surrounds you, of all that's within you. It's the evolution of the self, the journey of self-discovery. Oh, how we love to resist it at times, the changes of our lives. So we hold on to that stone in the river, believing we can resist, without realizing the pull of life will always persist. Sooner or later you will loosen your grip and understand that changes in life are irresistible. If the moon would have never let go of the 3 phases, it would have never been able to shine its fullest light. So can we allow to let the old version of ourselves die, to be reborn in a new light? Just like the wave building up to collapse again, the flower blooming bright just to wilt after, or the light shaking hands with the darkness each dusk and dawn. Those are nature's ways to refine itself in its own movement. Can we do the same? If the old rises up to the surface and a whisper of inviting change knocks on your heart, it's time to let go of what doesn't belong to you anymore. Let it fall to ashes. You will rise again in the moment you accept to meet yourself anew. From there on, a new version of yourself is born, from the change that moved through you. Now, can you name what still resonates? What doesn't? Can you meet that unfolding part of you with curiosity? It's a true exploration of the self in this life we're living, being part of the divine flux of this universe, ever changing, ever growing, evolving in its own time, flowing, floating, dancing, easing, all while breathing deep into the parts that need more love. So every chapter in your story is ephemeral, which makes every moment so incredibly valuable. Living through changes challenges us daily because we are growing. But regardless of your truth at the moment, I ask you, can you fall in love with your life over and over again?
I don't know how many versions of myself I've already lived through in my lifetime. I can't even guess the number, but it's so beautiful how we are constantly evolving and going through this death and rebirth process, kind of like a phoenix that grows old in their version and then dies again, and then from the ashes rises again, and brings that new light and that new energy into that new chapter of life. And I feel like we're going through life in the same way, because our experiences and our thoughts in a way, and our sensations, the events that happen in our life really shape us and they change us. So why not go with those changes and evolve with it and grow with it, and kind of seeing that as like an exploration of the self. Change is a constant in our life, and it will always be a constant. We're always changing, the cycles of nature are always changing, everything is moving and evolving, and so are we. And I feel so blessed to be a part of this whole. But also there's this option to just go with it and flow with it in a more easeful way. But sometimes I think humans sometimes tend to have a lot of resistance against change and trying to hold on to something to not have to go through it. But oftentimes, if we let go and just decide to go with that flow and welcome it with open arms, then we can find ourselves coming out on the other end of that change that we're going through and being a more lighter version of ourselves. On my personal journey at the moment, I'm really leaning into that allowance to integrate all the newness and all that has been occurring in my life and that changed me so much, and to really rise up from those ashes and honor that rebirth of a new version of myself, to then see where it leads me, what still resonates in my life, what doesn't, and just going with that and just giving myself the time to reintegrate, and feeling into that new version of myself and seeing where it leads me, to bring some lightheartedness to this whole process and see it a little bit in a fun way. That self-development and that self-exploration that we're on is just like a little journey, and sometimes it's hard and sometimes it's a bit more easy. So it all fluctuates in a beautiful way, and just trying to go with it as much as possible makes it a lot easier, and will lead us maybe to a new path that we didn't even know existed before. Really meeting ourselves at the point where we're at the moment, and knowing that it's all okay no matter which stage we're in. It's gonna be a lifelong journey for sure, and we will never reach like the end goal, and I think that's so beautiful to know in a way, that there is no end to this journey, but that we're ever evolving and ever changing and ever growing in our own ways, and really allowing us to change and move with it. I invite you to flow with your changes and seeing them as part of your journey. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you deeply, and I'm sending you so much love and light and happiness as always.